Is Aqua evil? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Mind Crawl, a new segment in the Psyculturists Channel where we crawl deep into the minds of our favorite characters and psychoanalyze them. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating character of Aqua from Oshi No Ko, where we'll go ahead and explore his behaviors and how his trauma has led to a manipulative personality and affected his attachment style and much, much more. Get ready to dive deep into the mind of Aqua. Aqua, in his past life, was a medical doctor, but he became obsessed with idols due to propinquity and shared bonding with the client. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. A therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, doctors, whoever you spend time with, over time you start to develop shared interests. So is it normal, or is it within the realm of reality or a possibility that a doctor would start to gain some shared interest with his clients? Absolutely, it happens all the time. However, his parataxic distortion or extreme obsession was in particular with I, an idol from the group of Bikomachi. After being reincarnated with his twin sister Ruby as a child of I, Aqua enjoyed his privileged life and used his wit and conversational skills to his advantage. However, his life took a tragic turn when a deranged and stalker fan committed a terrible atrocity and murdered I. This event would change Aqua fundamentally. As in episode 1, he swore to find the person responsible for this, no matter the cost. Aqua is such a complex character with a tragic past that profoundly impacts his relationships. His trauma, such as his own death and then the death of I, has caused him to develop a manipulative personality. Ed, I hear you asking, is someone with a manipulative personality evil? We'll get to that soon. But first, let's talk about how his behavior came to be. To understand Aqua's behavior, we turn to attachment theory. According to Bowlby, early life experiences and caregivers shape our attachment style and influence our relationships throughout life. Aqua's traumatic experiences, particularly the parataxic distortions of I, have shaped his attachment styles. When we start putting people on pedestals, it becomes really hard to start discerning what real expectations are versus what the expectations of those that we have put on these pedestals are as well. And this comes from a place of both social stigma, our own personal biases, and as well as the cognitive distortions that are present. Now, Ed, what is a parataxic distortion? Well, I'm glad you asked. A parataxic distortion is essentially when we put someone on a pedestal so high that no one can compare. This can cause attachment trauma to form, along with negative or toxic relationship schemas to form in adulthood. Aqua's manipulative behavior is understood through the lens of attachment theory, specifically through the development of an insecure attachment style. An insecure attachment style can result from a lack of responsiveness, inconsistency, or even childhood trauma. I'm going to put up a couple pictures up around so you guys can see. Anything that has to do with insecure attachment styles, people may call them, reference them as ambiguous or ambivalent attachment styles, is anything outside of a secure attachment forte, where you have both caregivers that are genuinely there responding to a person's needs. In Aqua's case, though, the strong parataxic distortion he had of I and her murder likely contributed to his formation of an extreme insecure attachment style, which in turn and over time can manifest to a manipulative behavior. To understand why this can turn into manipulation strategies and how Aqua is taking advantage of this and how it's all grounded in psychology, let's take a look at why he would try to have some sort of control in his schema. As a doctor, reincarnated as a kid, first with his untimely death, then seeing the murder of I, which were key moments where he realized that he no longer had control, or had aspects of his control taken away from him, being powerless to do anything, despite having the knowledge of a doctor well, that changes a person, to say the least. As Aqua grows from a toddler to being an adolescent, carrying all of these cognitive distortions becoming more and more prevalent, well, his manipulative behavior, it can be seen as a survival strategy, to say the least. Aqua learned to rely on manipulation to navigate his tumultuous environment and maintain some form of control. Aqua's manipulative tendencies also stem from his need to establish a sense of safety and control his relationships. As a result, Aqua's trauma and insecure attachment style can lead to difficulty in forming and maintaining healthy relationships, often causing him to manipulate others to achieve a sense of power and control and some sense of security. Okay, Ed. I understand why control can be such a big factor, but wouldn't another thing to impact him be his fear of abandonment after the incident? Yeah, chat, and you're absolutely right. Aqua's trauma can also be the result of fear and abandonment. Let's be realistic. This will lead to further manipulative behavior. He may manipulate those around him to ensure that they do not leave him, that they do not leave his sister, using others as a means to maintain his emotional stability. And this is something that I'm curious about. I'm currently on episode 2. I'm waiting for episode 3 this coming Friday, whenever this video comes out. I'm curious if, due to his cognitive distortions, due to his attachment styles, and due to another topic which we're about to talk about, if he's going to go ahead and try bringing more and more people in that he's able to A, control and or manipulate, or B, have in an area close to him or his sister to be able to act as a support bridge for him to not feel lost and or abandoned, no matter the toxicity that this relationship may bring with it. And that is something I'm extremely curious about. I'm still super duper excited to get to. But anyway, understanding Aqua's trauma and attachment style is crucial to understanding his character and his relationships. It offers a lens through which we can empathize with and comprehend the complexities of all of his actions. All of these things are starting to sound scary, Ed. What do you think this means for Aqua? Well, honestly, it's time to dig into his trauma and what his symptoms, if left untreated, can develop into something much, much bigger. Traumatic experiences like loss, identity dissociation, abuse, neglect, grief, and so on and so forth can alter the development of emotional regulation and empathy in children, predisposing individuals to antisocial personality disorder. We can observe Aqua exhibiting some of these signs of APD, such as manipulative behavior, deceitfulness, and honestly a lack of empathy. And wait. I gotcha! Aqua shows empathy towards his sister Ruby in episode 2. How do you gonna explain that? You're right. No, you're absolutely right. But a lack of empathy does not mean a total lack of empathy. It means less empathy than what a normal person would show. For example, he uses his intelligence to manipulate another idol to understand the company that scouted Ruby, as he demonstrates the willingness to deceive all of those around him, such as by calling the scouting agency or the idol company and withdrawing Ruby's application as an idol in season 2. No, now I am by no means saying Aqua has antisocial personality disorder, in no means, shape, and or form. I am, however, stating that there are APD traits, and if left untreated, it can and will develop into APD. I also want to highlight the impact that trauma can have at an early age, and I want to bring this up as a big discussion point for the community and for everyone else out there. How can trauma change us, fundamentally change us, and cause a discussion about trauma and a lot of the mental health things out there? It is essential, and I'm going to be straight with y'all. It is essential to consider that not all individuals who experience trauma will develop APD, right? There is a complex interplay of genetic, environmental, and psychological factors that contribute to its ultimate development. Ed, you haven't answered the question though. Is Aqua evil? Well, As a psychologist, I'm gonna say that's up to you. Let me know in the chat, in the comments down below. Do you think Aqua is evil? And more importantly, it's up to him to decide that. It's up to him to decide any and all roles that he gives himself. Even as a therapist, even as a psychologist, we can only work with the labels and the framework that you give yourselves. Even though we're working past that label to go ahead and try and understand your behaviors, ultimately, your narrative, your attachment, and how you view yourself is quintessential. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Aqua is evil or not? Or do you think that maybe it's just trauma, and the way that most people are, we are neither bad nor good, we just have a lot of gray? While this episode of Mindcrawl focuses on Aqua, it is essential to remember that trauma and attachment theory can help us better understand the complexities of real life individuals too. It's vital to go ahead and approach these topics with empathy and understanding towards ourselves and others. I hope you guys learned something today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on this mind crawl of Aqua from OshiNoKo. I'm Ed, and if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Psyculturists for more psychology videos of your favorite characters. There's a stream every Friday and Sunday on Twitch where you get unfiltered live analysis for free. If there's a character you wish me to do next, to do another mind crawl on, just leave it in the comments down below. I will be there. I'll be checking them out. Until next time, practice some self-care and know that there's a random wizard on the internet that loves you and is truly proud of you. Here's some self-care Doritos. I love y'all. Have a good day. Appreciate y'all. I hope you learned something.